Okay, Bambi, it's live.
Okay, refreshing my screen.
I still don't understand how Louisiana.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the um, 2020 Governor's Office of Disability Affairs Conference. We're asking everyone that is not currently on a panel to please access our live streaming through YouTube. And we will, what we're going to try to do is at the end of each session, we'll end the live streaming so that each session will be recorded um, as its own video so that people can refer to it later on. And we will, if you are within Zoom, if you can make sure to turn off your camera so you're not seen on our YouTube stream. Right now, we are going to, we're very happy to have Governor Edwards to welcome everyone. We appreciate him attending every year, giving us some words of encouragement and a message. And so I'm gonna, without further ado, I'm gonna let him go ahead and welcome everyone, and then we'll be able to move into our full day of conference sessions, which is gonna be quite a, uh, quite a lot of information. So we're looking forward to it. So Governor Edwards, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Bambi. Thank you, and thank everybody for joining in today to the Governor's Office of Disability Affairs Conference. The work that you do is obviously incredibly important, and it has never been more important than right now. So I hope you'll find today's sessions informative and, most importantly, very helpful. The goal that we have is to embrace the differences that make us all unique, because everybody deserves a happy and fulfilling life. As you all likely know, we are commemorating the 30th anniversary of the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Uh, it's the first comprehensive declaration of equality for people with disabilities. And it broke down societal barriers that had long prevented many Americans from being able to live life to their full potential. So we celebrate the anniversary of this important legislation today by continuing to work toward a more accessible and inclusive society for people living with disabilities. And the ADA was just the beginning. We've come a long way. You all know better than anybody else, there's still a long way to go. Now, I'm coming to you today from the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, where I have spent probably more days than not since early March when the global pandemic really hit Louisiana. And this COVID-19 public health emergency is very serious. We have more COVID-19 in Louisiana today than at any point up to now. It remains a very infectious and fatal disease for far too many people. You should know that yesterday we put up some of the highest numbers thus far, with about 2,800 new cases being reported, 60 new deaths. We know that hospitalizations increased across the state as well. And unlike the experience we had in March and April, this resurgence of the virus is being driven by cases all over the state of Louisiana. It is literally in every community and every parish across the state of Louisiana. So we continue to need your help. And one of the things that I'm disturbed about is we have healthy, irresponsible people using the Americans with Disabilities Act as a false reason why they shouldn't participate in the mitigation measures designed to prevent the spread of this disease. And it actually puts people at more risk for COVID 19, including people with disabilities who are some of the most vulnerable people, as you all know, to this particular disease. So I hope you will help me make sure that they don't use the ADA inappropriately and irresponsibly. Speaking of that, I know that the vast majority of people who are participating in today's conference knew April Dunn. Nobody advocated for those with disabilities better than April. She was a tremendous asset to our team in my office and to the state of Louisiana. She had an enthusiasm and a passion for life that really made a difference to people that she came into contact with. And I can tell you, she improved Louisiana. Um, and not just those with disabilities, but especially those with disabilities. And we lost April to COVID-19 relatively early on in this public health emergency. But I know that her beautiful smile and her advocacy will live on forever in our hearts and in our minds. In the midst of this pandemic, we've got to stay diligent in our pursuit of equity for people with disabilities. As you know, people with disabilities are most impacted by this virus, and they're some of the most vulnerable to it. That's why it's important that our state agencies, community organizations, businesses, and health systems keep the needs of the disability community at the forefront. And I especially appreciate the work of the Emergency Management Disability and Aging Coalition, which consists of many state agencies and community organizations, as they provide such important advice and response in emergency situations. Now, traditionally, MDAC responds to weather events, but they, like all of us, have adapted to this public health emergency. And by the way, we are in hurricane season, and there's a very good chance that we're going to have to respond to a storm while we're in the midst of this public health emergency with COVID-19. And it really will impact the way that we prepare for, respond to, and recover from a storm. So for anybody out there that hasn't done it yet, please go to getagameplan.org, getagameplan.org, and make sure that you're prepared, you and your family, for any natural disaster that might come our way. Because preparation for natural disaster is different when you have a public health emergency. So make sure that you look at getagameplan.org. I want to assure you that the administration will continue to seek ways to make Louisiana and our state government more accessible and inclusive of all citizens living with disabilities. I am incredibly proud of and thankful for the work that the Governor's Office of Disability Affairs has done. Everybody in that office has a true passion for helping the people of our great state. And I encourage you to reach out to them if you ever have a question or a concern or just need some guidance. They are here for you. They're eager to help, and that's their job, and they love doing their job. So Bambi, thank you and everyone at the Governor's Office of Disability Affairs. Thanks everybody for participating today. I hope and pray you'll have a tremendous conference. It's a little different to do it by Zoom. In some ways, it's more convenient. I'm not sure that it's the best way to have a conference, but in an environment like we have today with COVID-19, it is absolutely the best and safest way to do it. So thank you all. I hope you enjoyed the conference, and God bless.
Thank you, Governor. Appreciate it. So everyone, just wanted to give you some information on how the day is going to go forward. We once again, if you are within our within Zoom, if you would log out and access our conference through our YouTube channel, and the way that what we'll try to do is the way it'll work is that after each session will be its own YouTube video, so that later on, if people need to access the videos, they can go back and find on the specific session or specific topic. And so you may just have to log back into that link or search YouTube for the Governor's Office of Community Programs. And so throughout the day, that's how you can access those videos. We will have on our screen, we'll try to have our interpreter at all times. If you are a person who needs the ASL interpreter, you can raise your hand as an attendee, and we will move you over to a panelist, so that way you can see the screen as you need to see it. And for now, we'll go ahead and stop the session. Zoom will stay on, but we'll stop the session on YouTube. And we will restart it at 9 o'clock with Superintendent Cade Brumley, who will be speaking about his vision for students with disabilities in K-12 education. And I'm just going to check the chat real quick, see if we have any questions. The only thing I see in the chat is Jamoris posted the link to our YouTube channel. Okay, so we'll just take a break right now and we'll start back at 9 o'clock. Melanie, you can go ahead and stop the YouTube live feed.